Alright guys, so we are here, and here not being the Philippines, we have a lot to explain. And if you are listening on Spotify, you might be watching us on Spotify also. But we really needed to make this video, and it couldn't be one where we were just walking and going along, because there's a lot that happened while we were in the Philippines. But just for those of you who maybe don't follow us on Instagram, we are back in Thailand. We are here in Bangkok. So the last video you would have watched would have been us landing in the Philippines, doing the apartment tour. So excited and just ready for this new adventure. And then the videos just completely stopped for a month. And I held that video off for a while because I said, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to explain all of this? And it definitely was the perfect opportunity to relaunch our podcast. So that was a great opportunity and a good time to just kind of catch everyone up so that the next videos coming out, everyone understands what's going on. So we are here in Bangkok, Thailand. We're back. So we went for a month.
That was fast.
Yeah, it was so quick. I almost feel like we didn't even leave, to be honest.
So we just want to kind of start off with saying that our time in the Philippines wasn't too good.
No, it wasn't good. We landed and we were actually really sick when we landed.
Yeah, where was that though? I don't even know.
I know, because the flight was really short. You know, and although we know that we suffer from like altitude sickness, you know, it still didn't make sense that we were that sick when we landed. Because again, the flight was super short. We had a long layover, so our bodies had time to rest. And I don't know, we just got to the Philippines and we were just lethargic, no appetite.
Nothing basically worked for us when we got there.
No.
I mean, not trying to complain about anything too much, but it's like, right? I mean, when we first got there, we had like 2 days of hot water, and then the water went out. It got completely cold. For me, it's okay, but I know for you, that's where you like to do your thing. It's like your sanctuary.
Yeah.
And
I spent a lot of time like praying in the shower. And
online. Internet went out for like a couple of weeks as well.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Even when remember the repair guy came, he was like, oh, how long, with no hot water? And we were like, 2 weeks. And he was like, oh, and then we were like, yeah, the holiday, because there was like a 8-day holiday or something crazy. And he was like, oh yeah. So he understood, but also understood. So yeah, it was crazy. And we were just like, no hot water, no internet, felt like crap for 2 weeks.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty disappointing because I wanted to go back and kind of get closer to my roots and all that crap,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I guess maybe because they speak Cebuano, Visayan, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I don't feel that much of a connection there. Maybe I would have felt better like in Manila or something, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try next time. What about our experiences there?
Maybe we'll try next time. Because, okay, you have to admit, like, okay, so for those who don't know, you are half Filipino. So your dad is from Bulacan.
Bulacan.
Right.
And, yeah.
So.
Province area, I think.
Yeah. So you grew up in, with a Filipino family around, your dad, like, so it wasn't like the culture itself was new to you.
I mean, it is, because, like, I grew up around it,
Yeah.
but, it's different when you're there. They speak Visayan. They rather not speak Tagalog, they rather speak Visayan. You know, my family speaks Tagalog, which is like, I mean, completely different.
Yeah.
Like if they were to come over to, you know, Cebu from where they live, and speak Tagalog, they probably still won't want them to speak Bisayan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah,
overall, I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't really like my experience there, to be honest.
Yeah, because okay,
Our experience was kind of tame because right when we got there, and I'm not trying to complain, like everything kind of just went wrong the first couple weeks.
Right, but we're used to getting over those humps.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like, this. If this is anyone's first time listening, like we've been traveling the world for 4 years, literally made 4 years in November. So, and we've been to like Laos, Cambodia. I love Cambodia, like that country we absolutely love. So it's not like we're not used to things not happening, not working, or because some people think because we're American, we're
We can't
it's like
anything.
yeah, like, oh, first world problems you have, and it's like, no, we are very aware how privileged we are as Americans, in a lot of ways. So that is very clear, but that doesn't mean, you pay for certain things, you want a certain service. But anyway, I digress from that. But because the Airbnb she ended up helping to fix things, but the urgency is just very different there too. Like in Thailand, even though it is very like sabai, like people take their time, they still give themselves a deadline. Like, oh, I want to do it today, but I'll be there tomorrow by 2, and they're here tomorrow at 1:59. They like stretch it, But there, it's like, oh, okay, well, tomorrow. Oh, maybe tomorrow. Like, what?
Maybe we fix in like a week. Who knows?
And it's just like, it's okay.
Doesn't matter to them.
Doesn't matter. And then we had issues with the women there. And I don't know how much you want to say, because I know you're very respectful and you're very polite. But we agree on a lot of things. And one thing is, I know and I'm very aware of how women are. But I don't know if it's just a me thing, an American thing. But I've never had anyone outwardly be upset that I was with you to my face. Like, so we would go to restaurants or go to certain stores, and the people, the retail clerks, the women there would be super nice to you. Super nice to you. And then if I would come up, like if if you were paying or whatever,
You started talking to me.
yeah, like act, like, oh, they are together. Then the lady, remember, she like put your card on, shoved it over to you. I was like, ah. And then at the same time, you had told me once we left, that her coworkers
They're all eyeballing you.
Like, what the heck? Like, so the whole purpose of this like podcast is, unfiltered pillow talk, because, as a married couple, we do have pillow talk, and we have some really interesting pillow talk conversations though. And so that's the whole purpose of it, kind of like tearing the curtain away from certain conversations that maybe you just have with your spouse. And so we've never... So anyway, so we were walking. What happened? We were leaving. Oh, and then you told me about them eyeballing me. And okay, and then so we were talking about it, and I was just like, but I don't understand. Like, oh, I was saying, so the podcast, Unfiltered Pillow Talk, like, I'm not just wearing this because of the whole, like, oh, pillow talk idea. Like, I go out dressed like this. So I don't go out dressed like, oh, I got it all together. Or, oh, I think I'm so cute. Like, if anything, I go out and people are probably like, oh, we need to help her. We need to, like, give her a makeover. So, like, I don't ever give women the vibes, you know, to want to hate me. But remember,
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're like, why did you even try?
Well, I mean, maybe they shouldn't try either. Maybe that mentality should just be wiped away from their brains, thinking they need to try so damn hard.
Well, you know, from like third world countries, they're a little more desperate, so they do desperate things.
Well, they desperate with the wrong
But
one.
you know how it is.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to
But
Cambodia and
look.
things get a little more scammy and stuff like that.
Yeah, but still, it's like to your face. Like if I turn my back and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. But like in the Philippines, they do it to your face and almost dare you to try them. And it's like, you're so lucky. I don't know the laws in this country besides the fact that I'm not Filipino and I would get arrested. And I do not want to be in Filipino jail.
Sounds like you're reliving it right now.
Because remember, I had to ask my friends, my Filipino friends, I said, wait, what is going on with the women here? Because I grew up around Filipinos. I had Filipino friends growing up, obviously being in New York City, yada, yada, yada. And not going to lie, you guys are everywhere. So there's not one state I moved to that I didn't work with a bunch of them, especially in a hospital. But I asked them, and remember, they were like, oh, they're jealous. I'm like, what? What do you mean they're jealous? Jealous of what? Oh, jealous because I'm with you? I mean, I know you're a hot commodity. I love and adore you.
Well, and also because I'm buying stuff, too. I probably think it's just my money.
Yeah. Like,
It's
what?
It's our money.
Yes.
So when they go in and I buy things, it's like, oh, and he buys her things?
I mean, we're not in Louis Vuitton. We were in a Nello.
Right? Well, to them, that's expensive, right?
It's ridiculous, though. Who could be mad at me? Anyway, that was a problem. Like, it was a problem to the fact that we didn't even want to go out. There is definitely colorism in the Philippines.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there because this is the reality. We watched so many videos on the Philippines, not just now, but like before, when we were trying to move there before, when we first started traveling. And everyone kept saying, everyone in the Philippines is nice. Oh my gosh, they're the best people. Yada, 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 yada. And they are very hospitable. The nice ones. The nice ones. But it wasn't until we were like, we wonder what it is, because a lot of YouTubers are saying how perfect the Philippine islands are, as you know, as opposed to the people. Like, oh, the people are the best. And so that was a big, actually that was the number one reason for us deciding to even,
was the people.
Yeah, to move to the Philippines. We were like, we're moving to the Philippines, and the people were our driving force. But it was kind of like, well, let's see for ourselves. And we then started to realize the majority of those Filipino YouTubers that we watched that were saying how great the Philippines were. Not saying there are others that are not this race, but the majority of them that were saying how great they are were white guys. And that's the reality. They were white guys, young white guys with Filipino girls, old white guys with Filipino girls.
And the thing is, we're not like that. We're
No.
We're not the type of people to ever be like, oh, it's because our skin color. This is why we can't go here and our can't go there. We're literally the opposite of those people.
Yeah.
Anti-woke people.
Yes.
We're like, we don't even believe that white privilege exists in America. We don't believe in that. But I do believe in it in Philippines for sure.
Yeah, that
I'm not gonna lie.
puts
It's
white
weird.
privilege into perspective
Right.
when you're in the Philippines and you're not white.
In America.
And you're half white.
Right.
And that's the thing, like.
They think I'm Chinese and Russian.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I'm not Filipino.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes. It's so crazy, but there is definitely a there's a colorism going on and you can feel it. So it's like,
Well, even my dad said that, like, he said that, man, people know so many different languages and they can't even understand each other. That's why Filipinos don't like each other. Like, my dad said that. He's from the Philippines, so
yeah.
I don't know. I think Philippines is an amazing place. Like, if you want to, like, you know what I mean? Live cheaply and...
Yeah, but you want to live cheaply and not worry about a visa.
Right.
Because they make it, I'm going to say, another, probably reason number 2 in leaving Thailand was the Philippines makes staying very, very easy. And so it was great that I wouldn't have had to worry about any visa options at all. Like, because you can renew, you leave, you can renew again. You can do it all online. So yeah, that made it good too. But the majority of the people that love it and talk about loving it again are those types of YouTubers. And you're half white, half Filipino. So it's like, we know also a lot of people that are half white, half Filipino. That's just the nature of it. So there's no like, oh, that's just a stereotype. No, like you've lived it. We have friends that are same thing. They're half and half, and it's common. But you are
Nowadays,
definitely and you're definitely praised for the lighter you are.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you do.
Who knows? Maybe we would have been treated differently if you were more white and less something else they didn't know. And I don't know. Why do people want someone else's husband?
This is the first time
It's
I've ever
weird.
dealt with this kind of
And I'm
thing.
the nicest person you've ever been with.
Me too.
Right?
We're polite to everybody.
Yes.
Every person we come across, every exchange.
So
from
nice.
Every time you buy or come across a Grab driver.
We tip people.
A Grab delivery driver. We never not say cup and cup or thank you or anything or not tip.
No.
We literally come across everyone with respect. Like everyone we come across.
It was bad though. We didn't even want to go outside. Oh, the gym. Remember the girl at the gym? She was all nice. And then you go away, and I couldn't run yet because of my foot. And I go to pay, and she just treats me like garbage. I was like, this is bananas. This is absolute bananas.
I'm like, the women don't like you here.
No, yeah. And I like cried. That like hurt. Because I've had a lot of Filipino friends, and they all seem to love me. If they don't, I mean, they hide it pretty well, but...
Here I'm thinking I'm gonna start learning Tagalog.
I know.
Learning, my family's language and blah blah blah. And nope.
Yeah. And again, this is our experience. It could be very different for you. It's also very different where you go. Some people said, oh well, if you tried, Manila will be very different. I mean, and that is very possible. But in the midst of all of that, an opportunity and the thought, the opportunity came up to come back to a gym where you were almost going to fight. It was in the midst of COVID though. So there was a lot of uncertainty at that time. And so you couldn't fight then. And things just kind of fell into place to come back here to Bangkok for you to prepare.
Literally the perfect place.
Yeah.
To train and live and eat healthy.
Yeah. And when the opportunity and the thought presented itself, we really had to... I'm not going to lie, we didn't have to think that hard about it. Like, do we try to make the Philippines work, or do we go and take this opportunity? One, you sacrificed so much for me this whole year with my health and my foot and things. And although the Philippines would have been easier to stay and navigate things like that, the reality is the training there is nothing compared to what you can get here. And then things started to fall into place where the condo we're in right now, This is the exact place I wanted us to move back to because it's steps from the gym. It's literally like 30 seconds. So if I ever have to do anything or walk or don't feel good, you know, I don't feel bad that you're going to training just right across the gym, you know, and I'm right here if you need anything or if you need me, but I'm always at every training. But because the holidays, the condo itself that we're moving into, people have it booked throughout the month, so we can't move in until January 1st. It was January 3rd, and then the landlord wrote and said, oh, you guys can move in January 1st. So we're going to be bouncing around Airbnbs quite a bit this month, so it's stressful. And we had to think about, okay, well, if we go back to Thailand, how are we going to stay?
Get on an education visa.
Yeah, something, right? And so I ended up having to quickly have to do research for that. And God provided yet again. So, praying everything goes through in a timely manner. And then we'll be here in Thailand for another year before having to worry about another visa. But it's good because we could just be in Thailand for the year, do our extensions. You can focus on the opportunities that you have here, Bangkok Fight Lab. So I'm excited. So when the thought came, we were like, we have to do it. It just feels right. The Philippines wasn't settling. We can tell them about the new addition that everyone's been waiting to hear about. I looked online and we found a breeder that had a litter of Australian Shepherd puppies, and we were like, oh, let's have, the fur baby before the baby. And we put a deposit down for him. Oh my gosh, he was so cute. And I love Australian Shepherds. That is my breed. I've had so many of them. But so I was excited. So we were ready to make the Philippines home. And we were in Cebu when we had all these bad experiences. And then we were like, well, we're just going to move training. The training was moving to Manila because of the gym in Manila. In Makati. We were going to move to Makati. And so we're like, this is perfect because the puppy was in Manila. So we're like, oh, it's all falling into place. And then quickly the pieces just started falling apart, and we were like, we have to go back to Thailand. And we were scared. Coming through immigration, they questioned us. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even remember how to say, I know a little bit in Thai to show, all I had were pictures of my foot from this year. Look, this is why we're here.
Well, slow that down a little bit. You don't even know what happened, really.
No.
You just said a bunch of things and we explained to them how it got to that point.
Immigration.
Yeah, we walked through and...
We walked through.
I was like, wow.
Sorry.
Because... so fast?
No, because I really relived it. I still feel like we're not in the clear. It's bothering me.
We tried to get through immigration to get into the country. That sucked.
Yes, it sucked really bad, and this is going to sound so bad, but I'm going to be real. This is the reality. When we're in line, I don't care what country, when we're going through immigration, I like for it to be a man. Because women...
Ooh, that's sexist.
Whatever. We have a problem when we're on our period, and I don't care. We're hormonal. We have hormones. You just saw me eat ice cream every day for the past 4 days, and I don't even like ice cream. Why? Because I'm on my period. We do things, we react in ways, and I don't want my experience trying to get into a country that I either want to or need to get into because you're having a bad day. You don't want to stamp me in and send me through. There's no criminal record. Nothing's coming up. No overstays. So we're in line, and it's crowded. And I already did not want to come through Sukhumvit, that airport, because that's crazy. Remember, we never have a problem when we go to the smaller one. They're always so much happier to just stamp through because they don't have long lines. Anyway.
They're more uptight there for sure.
Yeah, because it's just bigger airport, more international. And I think more international flights come through or whatever. Anyway. we're in line. I'm like, oh, this is good. And I was like, love, we're in line, and it's I was like,
it's a man.
It's a man. Good.
And I get closer. I'm like, I don't think it's a man, babe.
I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And then he's like, it's a.
I said, look at the hands.
Oh yes, look at the hands. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at more than hands. I'm looking at all these other features, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's a woman. No. And sure enough, I get to the desk, and she rings a little light thing because she's got a problem. And
I was so annoyed at that point.
The guy came over, pulled us to the side, and then
Asked
someone, asked us questions, and then someone behind is like, oh, it's because when they have so many entries coming into Thailand. And what? I hate it when people say that they think they know what's going on, because she was trying to say, oh, it's because they have so many entries coming into Thailand. You don't know what that passport says. Shh. Why are you talking? Did you get into the country?
Jeez, don't yell at me.
Sorry. But, like, I don't like that. Like, keep your comments to yourself. If they're not helping the situation, then shh. So, the guy was really nice. He asked us questions. It was like, oh, yeah, we train, he trains Muay Thai, blah, blah, he fight, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Okay, he thought it was funny. So, he sends us over.
I said, no, I do.
Yeah.
He looks at me up and down like, okay, buddy. like, come on, man. Like, what?
So then we get to, he tells us he escorts us somewhere else, and he puts us into another line with a woman, and I'm like, no, I know this is not going to turn out well. She already looked pissed. And then, of course, I go because he's like, you're not in trouble, don't worry. And then she stamps something, and then she's like, and she calls for someone else to come. I'm like, then the lady...
We're just like, the other one just told us to come over here.
Exactly. So that's one to another one. Then he brought us to her. And then a lady walked over, asked me another question. And then that's when the other lady came over. And she's like, do you have a picture of you at the school or sitting in school or whatever? And I'm just like... And then she's like, oh, are you fluent in Thai? I was like, what? I said, Thai is hard. What are you asking me? I got thrown off, and you thought I said what?
I thought you said the...
Put Pasatai thing.
Put Pasatai.
Me koi gen ka.
Yeah. Well, because you had leaned forward.
Because I was appalled at her question.
I couldn't hear anything because you leaned forward more so she can hear you better.
Yeah, because I wanted to hear my appallment.
Because of that, I couldn't hear what you said. So I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, she said it for sure. No doubt.
I was appalled. Literally appalled.
Then you're like, oh, and I said, did you say it? Because I was kind of like singing it behind you.
Just like I felt no vibes.
I was like, poop pasatai, poop pasatai. And then you're like, what poop pasatai? I don't know none of that stuff. You just forgot all about it.
And then she finally stamps us through. So I heard that you get a hard time because of things we had. But still, there's no record of COVID in this passport I have. So they're really going based off of the fact that last visa we had said no education. But when I showed her my foot, and I was like, it's my foot. Like, we had to stop studying, blah, blah, blah. I even had medical documents I could have pulled out and be like, see, we had to stop because I had surgery. Literally, that's why I don't do well with, like, that type of authority.
It seems like anyone who works behind that thing is in a freaking bad mood, man.
It's
the dudes too, but they seem like just more like, yeah, just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's just get out of here.
But the women, like, want more work. Like, I'm pissed. I'm going to piss you off.
Like the FBI, that's where, like, nope, you're a criminal.
Yes.
You're a criminal. You look like, it would be like...
It's almost like, do they get, like, some type of recognition or more like, oh, look, she caught someone coming in. Do they get more for being, like, in their workplace? I don't know. We're not going to talk about immigration. because we've had some really great experiences.
No, more.
They were just doing their job. I understand. But it stressed me out. So it stressed me out so much. So that put fire under us. So in other words, us leaving the Philippines was not coming back to like this, oh, life is going to be just great and exciting. First of all, we lost a lot of money because we put a deposit on the dog, rightfully so. It was to hold the puppy. And we really wanted him. And the whole goal was we were not leaving the Philippines because I'm tired. I'm exhausted of moving, And you have a fight career to focus on. And so we can't keep moving around like that. Like, it's time to buckle down.
I'm pretty sure in the next few months, at least, I'll have a fight.
Yeah. You'll maybe even, we don't know, even maybe before then. But the whole purpose is to come back, to prepare for that, train for that, so that you can be ready. And this is the best place to do that. So I'm happy with the decision, but again, it wasn't this easy transition because we had to really buckle down and figure out another visa. That means we can't leave Thailand then for a whole year. So that's no going back home, no leaving the country to go anywhere, do anything. If anybody wants to see us, you gotta come here because we ain't leaving. We're not going anywhere, So that was also big because, we really want to head back to New York, see my uncle. But we're going to have to get him to Bangkok.
I think you'll like it.
He'll love it. He will really love it.
It's a big city. It's public transportation.
Yeah, he loves that. It's like New York City, but cheaper. So that was that. And so, yeah.
Anything else?
I'm really sad. We don't seem as sad now because it's been a while, but we were actually really disappointed when we had to leave. Because it did come to a point where it's like, where are we happier? And life is just too short to stay where you're not happy. And when the opportunity came, fighting pro here in Thailand, you know what? Yeah, it was a no-brainer, but there was a lot of emotions because we had already we were already attached to the Philippines before we left. And then getting there, being disappointed at how it was working out, and then having a way out was like, I think we jumped too soon. I think we found our home away from home, aside from Barcelona. Thailand is just, it always pulls us back.
I always feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
When I leave, I'm like, oh man, I miss it already.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sad. How come?
And we were sad this last time we left.
Yeah. And Phuket wasn't our favorite.
No. That's the thing. Phuket was not our favorite. So it was a little easy to leave because it's expensive.
It's very expensive. Compared to anywhere else in Thailand?
Yeah.
What's the cheapest, you think? Was Chiang Mai the cheapest?
Yeah, for sure.
Just slightly cheaper than Bangkok?
Oh, I think, yeah.
What, 3% cheaper?
Yeah, I was about to a quarter. What's a quarter? Oh.
A quarter, you think?
A quarter. Okay, if we're spending 65 baht
that was
on...
before, but it's pre-pandemic though.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe about the same.
No, it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper. I know for a fact it's cheaper. I do. It's cheaper.
Anything else you want to talk about?
If Pad Thai is 65 baht here, it'd be 35 baht in Chiang Mai.
Anything else you want to talk about? Anything? Anything other than our life?
But that's what we're here to talk about.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to flow a little bit. You know what I mean? You're not helping me here.
Sorry. Guys, I'm so tired. I've been teaching a lot. Our sleep has been really off. But we've been eating a lot. Oh my gosh, we've been eating so much. The food here is amazing. It's so good. But, well, that's really it. This one is not going to be super long because, again, this is an insert into the channel. So the thought is to put these podcasts on a podcast playlist on our main channel. So you guys can see the adventures mixed in with a little dose of reality talk.
There'll be a little more interesting topics coming
That was
up.
interesting. I think that was interesting.
There'll be more interesting.
Yeah. Stuff you guys might not
This
even...
is just catching up thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We haven't really done anything really.
We're going to get mics, so don't worry, it won't always be like this. Also, when we settle into our actual apartment, we'll have more of a vibe going on, so that's going to be good. So mics are coming hopefully soon. Vibe of the place within a month. And yeah, but we have some really interesting things to talk about that I think couples do talk about, but they just don't talk about it out loud, or maybe they don't talk about it with each other.
We talk about a bunch of random.
Yeah, we do.
You know.
Yeah, everything. That's why I love you. I do. I love you so much. Okay, anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Oh, guys, we have let them listen to this quick commercial by Uncle. Oh, okay, ready?
Attention podcast enthusiasts. If you're tuned in on Spotify, hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes of the Asuncions Pod. YouTube viewers, don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell for instant alerts when a new episode drops. The Asuncions Pod, your go-to source for insightful conversations. Subscribe and stay connected.
Oh, I think that's it. So we're here in Bangkok. We're here for the year. We have to go through our extension process and our visa stuff. So we're going to be really busy the next few weeks. But we'll be learning Thai. So be ready. We're going to be ready. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
We're gonna be ready.
Ready. Oh, your ukulele. You're supposed to play for them. You'll play for them next time. Your Filipino ukulele.
Maybe.
It sounds so beautiful.
Maybe.
You should. Just practice. All right, guys. I have to teach. I don't even know what time it is.
Maybe 6 o'clock.
Maybe 6 o'clock. It's time to go.